2070.
This brings me to the next question. Resuming office as the Director General of IAEA, how do you see IAEA's partnership with India, and what does the future hold for this partnership?
Well, I've been to India many times, but like you say, the first as Director General of the IAEA. India is a country that has a very important nuclear electricity generation program as part of its 2070 vision of a decarbonized economy. This is a first and very clear area where we cooperate in a number of sectors. That is that India has a diversified fleet, has its own design of reactors, which are very important. India is also partnering with us in some of these issues that we are referring to when it comes to cancer, when it comes to food security, water management, plant breeding and mutation, animal production and health. In all of these areas, we have a growing partnership. I had an opportunity to discuss these things with the Prime Minister Modi, today, and some of these aspects were the ones we were focusing on in our conversation.
Since you and External Affairs Minister,
yes,
could you share some insight into the discussion you had with our leadership in the context of India's partnership with IAEA?
Yeah, in the case of the of Minister Jaishankar, he is very knowledgeable in nuclear matters, which facilitates, of course, our discussions. And we have been looking into ways in which we can multiply these partnerships as part of the external projection of India and the needs we have and the projects we are involved. How can we converge into working out these solutions? Of course, being a conversation with the Minister of External Affairs, obviously we were covering some of the issues of the day. We are looking into what is happening in the Middle East, the non-proliferation dimensions over there. We are looking into the current efforts that the IAEA is playing in Ukraine, in particular trying to avoid a nuclear accident at the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. We are looking at the situation in the Indo-Pacific. All areas where the IAEA, by virtue of its mandate, has a very important role to play. And it was very good on a personal basis too, because we are very close friends. When it comes to the Prime Minister, I must say that all this was part of the discussion, but also how India and the IAEA can work together, putting in a very clear way these issues at the top of the international agenda. For example, we discussed the role that the IAEA and India are going to be playing at the next conference of the parties of the Convention of Climate Change, the famous COPs. COP28 is taking place in Dubai. The Prime Minister will be there with a powerful message. The IAEA will also be there, indicating and confirming that nuclear energy has a place at the table of the global solutions when it comes to moving into an environmentally friendlier energy mix.
You're heading this agency of climate change. Will nuclear energy be a viable solution to reducing the world's dependency on fossil fuel, and what is the role the IAEA can play to make the nuclear power more affordable and accessible?
The issue is the degree and the dimension of the contribution of nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is already playing an important role. Sometimes people ignore this, but when it comes to the global participation in terms of clean energy, it is already very important. In Europe, for example, 25% of the clean energy is of nuclear origin, and it's similar in some other places. So what we are trying to show is that nuclear is already there. Your own country, India, has a very ambitious plan because it has a vision towards 2070 to decrease the CO2 emissions. And for that, of course, you need renewables, you need all tools in the toolbox, you cannot have a serious discussion about decarbonization without nuclear when it comes to especially big economies. And in the Global South, it applies as well. So there are new technologies. You have the emergence of small modular reactors, microreactors, which are more affordable, easier to deploy, faster to come into service, of great interest for many developing countries in Africa, in Southeast Asia, in Latin America and the Caribbean, who are looking into this solution. So coming to the second part of your question on what is the role of the IEA, well, the IEA is there to provide for safety, for security, for non-proliferation, so that all of these things happen without any risks, without any shortcomings or